Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. I'm Connie Hintosh. I'm Vice President of Sales for Esperanza. It's pretty unprecedented times right now, and we feel like we, you know, we want the best relations with our realtors. So we have a realtor relations program that I think is amazing, the best I've seen out there. We're also coming up with a realtor only Facebook page that I hope you'll join us with Platinum Top 50 on October 14th. We're going to be giving away prizes every 15 minutes. I've been doing realtor relations for the last 20 years, and so I'm very honored to be able to introduce Dayton Schrader. Dayton Schrader is a broker associate with eXp Realty. Early in his career, Dayton made the commitment to work by referral only and has had the honor and pleasure to help thousands of families buy and sell homes. As a result of this commitment, the Schrader Group continues to offer clients excellent service built on a business of fundamentals and integrity. Take it away, Dayton.
So good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, I'm thrilled to be a part of Platinum Top 50. I've been with Platinum Top 50 since day one. It's been a great organization. And Amber, I think you've done a spectacular job. It's nice to see a company change hands 3 times and keep getting better and better. So that's pretty impressive. Most companies just can't make that transition. In my career, this is my 37th, 38th year in the business. It's all I've ever done as an adult. And I've always been a seminar junkie. So I was a Zig Ziglar guy and a Tommy Hopkins guy back in the 80s and listened to tapes. And I've always read books and I have loved them. And I've learned so much from them because you just don't get this education elsewhere. One of my first and favorite ones is Good to Great. It is kind of the prequel to Built to Last. This talks about how companies make the transformation from a good company to a great company and the things that they do. There's a lot of metaphors and terms that you've heard before, the hedgehog concept, getting the right people on the bus and things like that. It's a good read. The Go Giver is a fable book. It is one of my all-time favorites. I've just loved it. I've given away probably 30 or 40 copies of this book. Pindar is the wise old man in the book, and he helps other people, connects people. And the law of compensation is the one that spoke to me. Of course, I'm kind of money driven, but the law of compensation is your compensation is a combination of how many people you help and how well you help them. It's a great book and a great gift. It's a fast read. This is one of the meatiest books I've ever read. It weighs a ton. It's 600 pages, no pictures. But Neil talked about it, and Amber talked about it. Hire for values first, your values and their culture first. I wish all of our leaders, our government subscribe to these principles about transparency, about idea meritocracy, and you hire for values first, attributes and quality second, and then talent third. And so it's a fantastic read, but it's deep. Traction, I kind of rolled my eyes the first time I saw this. Gino Wickman is Floyd Wickman's son. And if you've been around long enough, Floyd Wickman started Sweat Hogs, which was one of the original coaching programs for realtors. I thought Gino just kind of knocked off the old man. This is a spectacular book, and it's great for building the team. It talks about the values within your team and your organization. It talks about how to do that. It is a process book, so you can read it and read it with your leadership group and build from it. Influence is one of the first and best books I've ever read about being in business. It talks about reciprocity, commitment, and consistency, the tenets of influence. It's a spectacular read. I've probably given away 40 or 50 copies of this book to people that I care deeply about. It's been one of the best books I've ever read. I highly recommend it. If you can only pick 1 or 2 of these, The Go Giver and I think Influence are 2 of the best books ever about building yourself and building your brand and your practice. The Advantage, I'm a big Patrick Lencioni guy. I'm featuring 3 of his books in this deck, and I love him. I've met him. I've heard him speak. I had him sign some books for me. It's a fantastic man. The Advantage is a great process, again, for your team and your organization. Why do we exist? What are we here for? What are we trying to do? And how do we behave? If you can identify those things, you're on your way to building a great practice, whether it's in relationships with your family or elsewhere. This is the second of my 3 Patrick Lencioni books. It's about what the boss should be doing. And they just drive home the point of organizational clarity and communication and over communicate. You've got to drive that message down to the entire team about how we operate, what we do, what our values and our vision are, what our expectations are. I'm not a good communicator, and this book just kind of brought that point home to me to make sure that I do a better job and I'm more aware and more intentional about the conversations we have. The Four Agreements is another one of those favorite books. I like those. They're fast reads. I think it speaks to a lot of the values. And again, if the golden rule didn't exist, we'd have to operate by, we'd have to invent it ourselves to operate by it. When Kat spoke about being nice to everybody, being patient and tolerant, I think that resonated with me. There's a lot of new agents out there that don't have a clue. And so I think as some of us that have been around for a while owe it to the people that were very nice to me when I was a nobody. I need to turn around and do a little bit better job in that as well. The Ideal Team Player, a great book, humble, hungry, and smart. And smart is not technical competence, it's emotional IQ. And Shane and Clint spoke to this again about the values and the culture of building a great team. This is a great book, a fast read, and I love it. I really enjoyed it. I think anything by Lencioni that you can pick up is gold. So as much of that stuff as you can do. He's written probably 10 or 15 books. They're all fantastic. Raving Fans is kind of the gold standard on how your operation or practice could be built. And the key to this book is only work with people who want what you want. If you want to be a luxury agent, only work with luxury people. If you want to be a volume junkie like me, then you cannot be a luxury agent and do volume. It's very difficult. Some people do, but it's a rare exception. You got to decide what you want and only work with people who want what you want. If their expectations are different, it's going to be a mess. The Truth About Employee Engagement, this is kind of on the negatives. This is where you lose employees, lose momentum in your team and in your culture. If they're anonymous, if you don't know who they are, if they don't know who you are, that's very difficult. If they're irrelevant, if they don't know what role they play, if they don't know how important they are to your operation and your operational success and the role they play in an organization and how what they do affects the people on either side of them, then you're going to lose them. And they need to know how they're measured. How are you accounting for them? This is a big picture book. This is a way beyond my scope or scale, but every once in a while it's kind of nice to dream big. And of course, Disney has built an unbelievable brand and franchise. And it is fun to kind of think big every once in a while. I'll never get out of San Antonio, but I do love the concept. And there's a lot of applications here on the practices, the processes, customer experience, and so on. And his vision helps me dream big. That's the big part of that deal. I love Simon Sinek. He's written several books, Leaders Eat Last, and a few other ones. This is a good one. This is a lot like The Advantage. He breaks it down into 4 parts instead of 5 by Lencioni. You'll see a lot of overlap there. But again, from building your culture, building your practice, and what you want, who you want to surround yourself with, these are great books to build your team if you have that ambition. They're also great relationship books. They help you with your family, relationships, and who you want to hang out with and spend time with. And this is the last one I want to lay on you. It's not about business, but I promise you it will impact your business. The 5 love languages, whether it's sweetheart, spouse, children, employees, or your customers. Knowing and understanding their love language and speaking to that love language makes all the difference in the world. Gifts, words of praise, physical touch, acts of kindness, and quality time. Understanding what that is and how to apply that to the people speaking their language is huge. Guys, thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. I hope you get something out of it. Go read.